Welcome back, folks, for another tank review. Now today we're looking at the M10 Wolverine. This is a tier 5 American tank destroyer with a turret. One of the two turreted tank destroyers that's on the non-turreted tank destroyer line for the Americans. So that you can see here, the American has two tank destroyer lines, one with turrets and one without. But the Wolverine and the Jackson are exception to the fixed mounted gun TD line, so these two actually has turrets. Now the difference between the T67 and the Wolverine is that the Wolverine has more armor, but is slower than the T67. Same goes for the Jackson in comparison to the Hellcat. So these two tanks have more armor than their lighter counterpart, or lighter slash faster counterparts at the same tier. So you could play these two tanks more like medium tanks. So you can play the Wolverine as well as the Jackson like medium tanks instead of the traditional tank destroyer line. You have to play the T67 as well as the Hellcat. So the Hellcat in comparison to the Jackson has no armor, whereas the same thing goes for the T67 in comparison to the Wolverine, obviously. Now the M10 Wolverine is the most produced tank destroyer out of all TDs for the Americans during World War II. It had a 3-inch M7 gun, which did alright against Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs. So this gun is historical, so 3-inch M7 gun is historically alright against Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs. But it did struggle against Panther tanks and Tiger tanks. Now within the game, you can mount a 76mm M1A2 gun. It's also on the Sherman tanks, so this gun will give you much more punching power. So the stock grind for the M10 Wolverine is pretty easy if you already played through the turreted tank destroyer line. So I already played through the T67, the Hellcat, as well as the T25/2 and the T28 prototype. So I unlocked most of the guns used, as well as the engine used by the non-turreted tank destroyer line. So I already unlocked the 76mm M1A2 gun, since I already played through the Hellcat. So I also unlocked the 90mm gun that's on the Hellcat for the Jackson, as well as the 105mm gun that's used on the T28 prototype, that's also used on the T25AT, as well as the T28's 120mm gun. So played through one of the tank destroyer line, and you should unlock the guns for the other tank destroyer line, so it's pretty neat. So in direct comparison, the T67 is a faster tank destroyer at tier 5 in comparison to the Wolverine. However, the Wolverine has more armor than the T67 and has a more accurate 76mm gun. So that's the trade-off between these two tank destroyers at tier 5. Now the M1A2 76mm gun is not bad for this tank destroyer. It has very decent penetration, 128mm, and APCR has 177mm at tier 5, which is alright. So accuracy is decent, 0.38, and 1.7 aim time, which is very good. So this is not a bad gun for this tank destroyer. However, it is a medium tank gun mostly, since the Sherman tanks use it. Now the rate of fire is very good, 18.75 rounds per minute, so this tank fires pretty damn quick. Now damage, however, is not that good, 115 damage per hit, but it does fire pretty quick, so that's pretty much alright. Now here are the main stats for this tank. The Wolverine has 360 health, so it's alright amount of health, but you do get one-shotted by the 122mm guns used by the Russians, so be very careful. You have health, but it's mostly used for small caliber guns such as 57mm that's on the Crusader or something like that. So don't trade your hit points away. Be careful, you do not have enough health for you to take shots. Now this tank only weighs about 29 tons, so it's not that heavy, but could ram light tanks mostly, but don't ram anything, obviously. It has 420 horsepower engine, giving a power to weight ratio about 14-ish, so it's alright. It's not slow, it's not fast. It does have armor, but the armor is not good enough, but it's alright. Top speed is 48 km per hour, which is okay. Traverse speed is 30 degrees per second, which is alright for a tank destroyer. Hull armor is 51mm at the frontal plate, which is basically this trapezoid right here. That's 51mm. The lower glacis, or the bottom part of the tank, is actually 115mm, so this part is actually thicker than the middle trapezoid plate on the tank. Turret front is 57mm, like the front of the hull, so that's pretty alright. It has a decent mantlet, so you can throw some shots, but the guns that have more than 150mm penetration could easily go through this mantlet, so don't take hits like I do. So this tank has okayish armor, but it's mostly against small caliber shells, so be careful. Side armor, however, is pretty crap. 19mm on the hull, which is very bad. 25mm on the turret, which is alright, still pretty bad. The ass on the hull is 25mm, as well as the turret is 25mm. So the rest of the armor is pretty crap. A Panzer 1C could go through the side of your tank as well as the ass of your tank, so be careful. But it's alright. The frontal armor is somewhat trollish if they aim down here on the lower plate, or they aim at your mantlet. But the rest of the armor is meh, it's alright. It's a tank destroyer, so don't try to get hit. Now this gun does reload pretty quick. 2.76 seconds between each shot, which is pretty goddamn fast in my opinion. Now, it does reload almost the same as the Comet, and the Comet does punch out a lot of damage, so the DPM on this tank is not bad. It's about 2,300 or so it's pretty good for a tank destroyer at tier 5. And view range is also not bad, 370 meters of view range, so you actually can boost this with recon skill or situational awareness, but 370 meters is not bad. Radio range is also not bad, 650 meters, so that's pretty alright. Cruise skills, I have camo for everybody because you want to be hidden. So this is still a tank destroyer, so you're not a medium tank, you're not fast enough. The turret traverse is also pretty slow, 16 degrees per second, so you could not play this thing like a medium tank most of the time. You could at some of the times, but most of the time don't play this thing like a medium tank. Play this thing like a tank destroyer and snipe from the back. So you need camo skill or camouflage for everybody on your crew. Once the commander reaches 100%, swap this out for 6 cents and go camo again. Gunner will probably be snapshot. Driver will probably be off-road driving or clutch braking, one of which. Radio operator will probably be situational awareness. And loader will probably be safe stowage, then camouflage again, but that's alright. Equipment fitted is gun rammer to increase the reload time, or decrease the reload time. What am I talking about? Increase the rate of fire, so decrease the reload time. Binoculars to increase the view range. You want to be hidden with more view range. And camo nets to help you hide against most tanks, obviously. So here's a fun fact. The Wolverine is almost the same as the Jackson. Both tanks share the same Sherman hull, so both tanks has the same lower glacis armor. The difference between the upper plate between these two tanks is only about 20mm, so this is a lie. It doesn't have 114mm of frontal hull armor. It only has 71mm on the upper plate, so this one is only 20 more millimeters of armor than the Wolverine. Side armor is pretty much the same, 6 more millimeters, but that's pretty much the same. Pretty much for the same on the side armor, as well as the ass armor. So the only difference between the Wolverine and the Jackson is the 20 more millimeters of frontal plate armor, as well as the 90mm gun and a better turret, so the Hellcat turret mostly. So you can see it's pretty much the same as the Hellcat turret. Pretty much the same as the Hellcat turret. Pretty much. So the Wolverine and the Jackson are pretty much the same tank, mostly, other than the turret and the 90mm gun. So let's jump into Tank Inspector to look at the armor in this tank, and then we'll play some live games afterwards. And here's the in-game model for the M10 Wolverine. As you can see, this tank has less armor on the upper plate than the lower plate, so that's the main difference. So it only has 51mm of upper plate armor. However, lower plate, or the lower glacis, whatever you call this proportion of the tank, has better armor, so you can actually throw shots with this thing. But most of the time, tanks will just hit you in the middle upper plate, and they will just go right through. Your mantlet is alright. It will bounce low caliber shells that has about 120-ish millimeters of penetration. But if a tank like the 17 pounder TOG or the Churchill Mark 7, anything that has more than 150mm penetration will go through this mantlet and damage your tank, so be careful. Side armor is obviously crap, so yeah, it's garbage. You do have space armor on the sides, so you might throw some shots if you're lucky, but don't depend on it, obviously. 19 millimeters of space side armor. But alright, ass armor is still crap, obviously, but it still have some space armor. The back of the turret is also space armor. That's pretty neat. I didn't know that. That's space armor. However, it has no armor underneath, so it only has 25 millimeters. So anything that shoots here will generally damage your ammo rack, because you can see here, that's where the ammo is stowed. So anybody shoots you right here is going to ammo rack you. So that's gonna suck. Alright, DPM is pretty decent, 2200. Now if you have a gun rammer, you can actually increase this to almost 2500. So that's pretty good for a tier 5 tank. So DPM on this tank is not bad, very good in my opinion. View range is okay, it's 370 meters of view range. So add binoculars, you'll increase that almost dramatically. So add binoculars. Now camo rating is also not bad. 18% is not bad for a tank destroyer, so that's pretty alright. But if you could improve that with the camo net, so you'll decrease your opponent's view range by 33%. So that's pretty good, So add a camo net. So that's my loadout. Specific power is also decent in my opinion. It's alright for a tier 5 tank destroyer. Now it's not as fast as the T-67, but that's alright. So that's generally the rule of playing this tank. Still hiding in the back obviously, and use the gun. Just pump out shots. You have 54 rounds, and most of the time I found myself to use about 95% of these shells. So try to use up all the rounds for your gun, but they do not cost a lot, so you can just pump out shots. So DPM on this tank is pretty good. Accuracy on the move is decent. Accuracy after shooting is alright, but gun depression is also very good. Gun elevation is also decent, 20 degrees. So use this to your advantage and go haul down. This tank doesn't turn as fast, so just be wary. But just remember, this tank has no armor most of the time, unless they're shooting at the lower plate or the mantlet. So just be careful. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the armor value of the M10 Wolverine. Now let's jump back into the real game and we'll play some live games. Now remember, the M10 Wolverine is still a tank destroyer, not a medium tank. So you might have pseudo armor, so it might be some armor, but don't rely on it. Obviously, do not rely on the armor of this tank. I found that out the hard way. Do not rely on the armor of this thing. Never rely on it unless you're facing something like tier 4 or tier 3. All right, assault. Alright, tier 6, 4 tier 6, or 5 tier 6, and rest are tier 5s. Alright, we should win this if I don't donkey out. So use the camo nets, use the binoculars to your advantage, obviously. So don't YOLO, never YOLO with tank destroyers. You always want to ambush. Ambush is the main key part of playing tank destroyers. Low tier tank destroyers obviously, but high tier also obviously. High tier is obviously the same concept. So 2.7 second reload time is pretty good. DPM on this tank is pretty good. 25 down or 2500, so 2500. So that's still pretty good DPM. Hello ELC, you probably will see me if I stay still. Ah, I just missed. I just missed again. Alright, time to move. There's artillery in play. Yeah, I don't want to be donkeyed. Alright, we're safe for now. So we're still here. Still hanging around. Alright. So that's the initial spots. We didn't get spotted, hopefully. If we did, we jump out of the way. Oh. Side armor, too good. I didn't track him, damn it. Damn it. M6 behind the hill. Yeah, that's going to destroy the leopard. He's on the other side. Alright. Jackson. Now here's where I talk about the blue dotted line and try to go for cheeky shots. So, oh, he pulled back. I'll try to run anyway. Yeah, he pulled back out. Oh, okay. Side armor. There you go. Pull back. Oh, I missed. Stop moving. I want to shoot you. Stop moving. Dang it. Alright, let's pull up. So, yeah, I do not want to YOLO like that Sherman Jumbo or the SU-100. But mostly the SU-100. Since you'll get killed easy. You're a tank destroyer. You do not have more health than the rest of the tanks. Here's the Jackson. No shots. Okay. It's not that accurate of a gun. Oh, we do pump out a lot of shots. Alright. The ELC is not dead, so he'll probably come back. And we should just move up. There's no one, there's nobody spotting for us. That's probably why I'm moving up. Or that is probably why. Not probably, but that's mostly the reason why. I had to blow the crap out of that BDR. And what's that Chinu doing? I have no idea. Chinu got wrecked. And we'll take this Hetzer. Okay. And we're losing this round. Mostly. Okay, let's regroup. You do not want to get caught out by yourself most of the time, so try to regroup with your teammates if best as possible. Did we lose our artillery already? What the frick? Alright. Okay, let's try to go for this ELC. If we can. Don't go anywhere. Hello. Good night, sweet prince. Don't go anywhere. Alright, let's go for the M6. So, yeah, that's where you want to play medium tanks when everybody dies most already. So, that's when you can play as medium tanks. But initially, do not play this thing. Holy fuck. Okay, distracted him. That's perfect. Is he using a derp gun on that KV-85? You should not use that gun. It's not as accurate as you might think. There's a T-150 somewhere in the field, and the Type 50 or Type 34. Jackson is watching this way. Let's go flank. There's artillery behind him. There's a Wolverine behind him. Please do not have artillery around this corner. That would suck. Ah. I'm wrecked. Alright. Let's try to kill this Wolverine and flank around. T-150 is behind us. Alright, never mind. Hey, did you just dirt him? Alright. Okay, Jackson. Still there. Go for the Jackson. Go for the Jackson. Hello. Frontal open places. OP. Aha! Side armor is still crap on that thing though. T-150 is chasing, so we'll use APCR for that T-150. I don't want to waste my time. He might derp me in the face. We could go for this. Oh no! Ow! I misplayed. I misplayed! Die already! So your tanks can still bounce shots. Oh god, here comes the T-150. Here comes the T-150 to save the day. Yeah, fuck you! Oh, damn it. Kill him, please! I did my best. Man up! Oh god, I shouldn't have died. Okay, please kill him. There we go, thank you. Oh, it would suck if we lose. It would really suck. But yeah, it's still a little laggy because I'm recording, but most of the time I shouldn't miss those shots, hopefully. But I was lucky on not missing that shot on the Jackson. Lucky. But we did alright. We wasted 2 APCR shells on that Type T-34, which I shouldn't have, but I was planning on killing the T-150. And misplayed. I misplayed against that Type 50. Stop saying Type 50. Type T-34. Blah. Alright, but we should do most of the time, so we should be fine. Blah. It's hard to commentate while playing the game. Really hard. So, alright. Tier 6 again with tier 3 or... Okay. 6 on my side, 5 on their side. No tier 3s, no tier 4s. Okay. We're bottom tier. Alright. Or bottom. The same thing. Same thing. Bottom tier, half the tier. Same thing. And we have to hide in the back most of the time. Alright. Get rid of these boxes. Alright, so tank destroyer. We're still playing tank destroyer. Not playing medium tanks, so I won't YOLO. But this tank is not slow. It's not fast like the T-67. It's just not slow. So it's alright. It's alright in speed. Now I do not have 6th sense, so I might move a bit more than I used to. But alright. I hate how they changed this side of the hill for the better, obviously, but this was my favorite camping spot. My favorite. They took it away. Took it elsewhere. Leave my precious camping spot. No, well. Okay, why is no? My precious, my beautiful precious camping spot. And M4 got nasshorned. Okay, she knew. No shot. Okay, nasshorn got wiped. Chafee. Chaffee. No shots. Oh god, that was not even close. Alright, Panzer 3s and Panzer 4s. Ah, goddamn accuracy. Really? Hit the cupola. Freaking rounded cupola. Yeah, Sherman. And Chafee again. Poke back out! Poke back out! Yeah, you better back off. Okay. Let's see, Chinu. Do I have a shot? Nope. Now, yeah, I kind of camped this spot. It's pretty hard to camp this spot now since I have no shot. Oh shit, M6. Yeah, this spot is not as good as it used to be. Not as good. Kind of bend the shells downwards. Get back out of there. Is that a haystack? Okay. There's a KV-85 and a Chinu somewhere. There he is. If I can kill him if he pulls up a little bit more. But, there he is, the culprit. He's on fire. Side armor of the KV-85 or KV-1S. Generally the same as the KV. I need to get out of here. Chafee is shooting at me. Bye, bitches. Alright. Alright. Alright, we're safe for now. KV-85 might still come for me. And there's a Chafee. Little bastard. Stay still. Damn it. The zoom. Lead the shots so bad. KV-85. If we can finish him off, that would be amazing. Okay, Chafee's dead. He's side scraping pretty well. Yeah, no gun depression, Sonny Jim. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh no. Woo! Okay, there you go. We matrixed that shot. Bounced. Ha ha ha! Mantless still trolls. Tracked him. Zoom mod is OP. I'm freaking. I can't forget the words. I tagged you. There you go. Finish him off. So yeah, I'm tunnel visioning pretty goddamn hard, but shoot the machine gun port. God dang it. Ah, damn it. KS. So yeah, your mantless still throws pretty much some shots, but don't rely on it. Obviously, do not rely on it. Your accuracy of the gun is alright, 0.38, but don't rely on that, obviously. So try to pump out shots behind cover most of the time. Now, I do carry 15 rounds of APCR because the gun doesn't have that good of a penetration. So you might have to go against T150s or Churchill 7s. So you might want to keep some APCR handy if you want to keep this tank. Now you do have to fight against Tigers and Porsche Tigers. And Porsche Tigers have 200mm of frontal hull armor, so APCR will not go through that thing, even from the front. So you have to use the side and use the flanking tactics. So you have to play like medium tanks. But it's alright, it's okay of a tank destroyer. It's pretty decent. We did alright. We didn't do that good, but I took a shot from the 100mm and we still lived. So yeah, that's pretty alright. Now I try to have. Now I did been seal clubbing with this tank because it's mostly tomato players and I'm top tier. So this tank could easily seal club if you play this tank well. But man, it's alright. I generally prefer the Stoke 3G over this thing, but it's alright of a tank destroyer. I still like it. I mean, accuracy is decent, 0.38. Not as good as the 0.34 on the Stug, but it has a turret, so that's a plus, I guess. That's the plus. Now, I'll probably sell this tank after I finish with the review, obviously. But it's, if you want to keep it, it's still a decent tank destroyer at tier 5. Very decent. Because of the M1A2 76mm gun. So, it's alright. It's alright. But just don't go direct combat. So, like a medium tank. You still want to camp in the back like a tank destroyer. Still want to camp. Oh, no top tier again. Oh man, alright. So as I said before, this tank is not slow. It's not fast, it's just not slow. View range is decent, the same as the Hellcat. So it's pretty alright of a view range. And it's a still pretty tank, so it's not a bad looking tank. That's why you see the Panther M10. That's a German copy, or not German copy, but they disguise their Panther tanks to look like Wolverines to trick the Americans, obviously. But that's a fun fact. So view range is okay. It's decent. It's just oh, fuck me. Try tracking. There we go. Turret is still pretty weak. Like all British made stuff. There you go, track them again. Spotting damage. See, if you cannot hit or if you cannot penetrate hard targets like that Excelsior, try to track him and let your teammates handle it, obviously. So you can still play this thing like a medium, and the gun reloads pretty quick, so you can do tracking maneuvers to outplay your opponents most of the time. So like, remember how I killed that ELC in the first game? That's because the gun can reload pretty fast to track the guy, and can just finish him off later. So it's still pretty decent. Just remember, you have no armor, so you shouldn't play like a medium tank most of the time. Most of the time. Let's see, have cheeky shots into the town. Okay. Alright, here is when my microphone got shorted out or cut off, but I fixed it, obviously. That's why I'm doing a post-game commentary. I really hate doing post-game commentary because it's so goddamn boring. It is so damn boring listening to me talk about my own shit when it's already made. Ugh, disgusting. But yeah, after you notice that the KV2 on our team and the KV85 are both in the valley, I started to get pissed off about it. So they're in top tier heavy tanks. Even though you do not have armor, you have the hit points as well as a big ass gun to fight off like little small mini tanks. So why the hell were you not going into town? So both KV85 and KV2 are base camping and sniping with their derp guns. I got really pissed off. Really pissed off. So I'm trying to make the best out of the situation right now and snipe targets I can through the town, but it's pretty goddamn hard, obviously. So yeah, now I decided, fuck it, I'll back off and run away and back to base because I'm gonna get wrecked or Zerg rushed pretty soon. So fuck it, I'll go back to base and camp at the base. So what I really hate also is that noobs or crap players calling other people crap players because they lost objectives or they lost the town because it wasn't their job. Now it's the KV2 and the KV85's job most of the time to go into town because their short range or inaccuracy of their guns as well as their armor. So it's their job to go into the town as a heavy tank. Now you don't have to go into town, I'm not forcing you to, but it's most beneficial for your team instead of you camping base with a derp gun. So that's when I got pissed off of crap players calling other people crap players. So that's really grinds my gears. So yeah. So right now I'm trying to make the best out of the situation and snipe from what that T67 spots. So a few Wolverine and a few Chinu or whatever the hell that thing is. So I'm trying to snipe, so make the best out of the situation. But you do not want to hang around with this armor. Now even though you have trollish lower plate and somewhat trollish mantlet, this tank is not good in the middle upper plate. It has only 51 millimeters of middle armor. So most people will auto aim on the tank and just shoot directly into the center of mass, which is basically your weakest spot. So try to not hang around as often as you possibly can. So I'm trying to spot my own targets and try to offer a few more shots. But the KV2 and the KV85 still camping base. And you can see in the results screen how crappy they did, but alright. So I will be flanked soon by Jackson, I think, across the river, or across the lake, as he comes across the middle of the map. And before I notice, here comes the day. So always pay attention to your minimap. That's very important. Because my teammate in the other Wolverine didn't notice, he didn't provide cover fire as well. So you'll see in a second. So I noticed first, and here is the Jackson. I thought he didn't notice me, so I don't have 6th sense, but he took a shot at me, so it's like shit. And this other Wolverine didn't notice, so he is I don't know, is he tunnel visioning? I don't know. So I'm getting flanked on both sides. The KV2 is still watching, and I got killed. So yeah. So here are the results from that battle, but the main thing I want to point out is that the quick reload of the gun allows you to detract the Excelsior and keep him pinned. Now what other thing I wanted to tell you about is that kills doesn't matter. The KV2 was bragging about how many kills he have, but he didn't do shit damage, so that's really pissing me off back then. So I really got pissed off about that. So in general, the Wolverine is not a bad tank. I mean, if you know how to play this tank properly, and if you know where the good camping spots for tank destroyers, this tank can seal club. I am having a very good time with it, 70% plus win rate. So the 76mm M1A2 gun is very accurate too. So this gun is very accurate, but you can also mount the M4 derp gun. But I do not recommend you use the derp gun because the M1A2 76mm is very good. About 2,500 DPM for a tier 5 tank destroyer. That's pretty good with a turret. So yeah, the Jackson is mostly the same. So it has the same armor but can carry a bigger gun with a better mantlet. So I'll probably focus on the T25AT and save that tank. But the Wolverine is not a bad tank. So play this tank properly, hide in the back, and snipe. So the Jackson is probably the same thing. Now the Jackson carries more rounds with a 90mm gun than the Hellcat, so the Jackson can camp even better with a better gun with better burst. But the Wolverine is not bad. It can still seal club based on the accuracy, the decent accuracy of the gun, the tremendous amount of rate of fire this tank has. It can fire every 2.676 seconds, so it's pretty fast firing gun. And it is a tier 6 medium tanks gun, so you can actually penetrate a few targets from the front. Now you might want to carry a few APCR just in case against heavy targets, because tier 5 tanks could run into stuff like the Porsche Tiger. So you might need that 177mm to penetrate the Porsche Tiger. But since this is a tier 5 tank, you can easily get through destruction the daily missions or the month-long mission by destroying tanks and getting that 2 garage slots out of it, because it destroys tier 3 tanks pretty quickly. 2 bursts or 2 shots with a 76mm could destroy a tier 3 tank, so it's a pretty good gun. Now the SU-85I is pretty decent too, so I don't know why is it on track to the T-110E3 and you get a Soviet tank out of it, so that's pretty weird. But hopefully, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this review, and rate, comment, subscribe, that would always be nice. But I like tank reviews, but this is a post-game commentary, obviously. I'm trying to catch up, so I'm trying to rush now. But thank you guys for watching, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. That was fast. Oh, the video's almost in. Oh.